Welcome to Money Patrol User Guide video tutorial. For this video, you will be learning everything there is to know about Money Patrol's transaction section. Let's get started. Transactions. The transaction summary depicts your money movement. If you have linked your accounts with Money Patrol, you will be able to examine everything in the transaction summary instead of going into multiple accounts to track your income and expenses. This makes keeping track and managing your funds easier and more convenient. This also allows you to organize and categorize each transaction, making it easier to find and view transactions. When you scroll down to the bottom of the transaction window, you will see page numbers where you may click to view prior to most current transactions on your accounts. Use the transaction filters in order to narrow down and personalize your search results in finding specific transactions that you're looking for. One alternative is to search for specific transactions based on the accounts you've linked to Money Patrol. For example, you could want to view all of your Amex card transactions. Simply choose Amex card from the drop-down menu under Account, and you'll be able to see all of your transactions associated with this account. If you want to view transactions under a certain merchant, click the drop-down menu under Merchant. This filter will limit the transactions displayed on your screen to those associated with the merchant you've selected. Category is another filter that limits the display of transactions to those that belong to a certain grouping. For example, if you select a category such as groceries, it will display all of your transactions from merchants that come under the category groceries. You could also use the time period to focus on particular transactions. This filter allows you to search for transactions dating back 3 years ago. To narrow down the dates of transactions, click on Custom next to Time Period, and a pop-up window will open, allowing you to specify a start and end date for the transactions you're looking for. After setting the dates, click Show Transactions, and any transactions that fall within those dates will be displayed. When you modify the time period, the number displayed in this entry will vary based on the number of transactions that fall within the time period you selected. There can be several types of transactions. And to specify the type of transactions you're looking for, you can pick from the following types of transactions. Expense. These are financial transactions in which money is spent on something. Income. These are transactions where money is received more likely on a regular basis. Transfer made. These are transactions made when money is transferred from your bank account to another. Transfer received. These are transactions made when money is received from another bank account to your bank account. Card payment made and card payment received. These are transactions of your card payments. Investment. These are investment transactions made on your accounts. Mortgage payment received. These are transactions for payment for mortgages. There are 3 types of status you can select to filter out your transactions. Reviewed. This will display the transactions that were marked as reviewed. Not reviewed. This will display the transactions you haven't opened and marked as not reviewed. Review later. This will display the transactions you haven't opened and wanted to view later on. You may also search for a specific transaction using the search bar. Simply enter the keyword of the transaction you're looking for, and it will display the transactions that match the criteria. Take notice that the search bar will also reflect the filters you set before typing in the keywords. For example, you may use the search bar to search for a merchant's name, but you only want to view transactions that occurred on a specific date. Simply set the time period to the desired transaction date and then type the merchant's name into the search bar. The transactions will then be displayed under the merchant name you specified, but filtered out based on the date you selected. This applies to the other filters as well. However, if you don't want this to happen, simply click Reset Filters to delete any previously set filters. Tags. Tags is a column that allows you to create custom groupings for a transaction. For example, if you want to keep track of your food expenses, you may add special tags to the corresponding transactions. You can include 1 or more tags. Once you've entered the tag name, hit Enter to save it. The Action column allows you to make changes to your transactions. Click on the checkmark icon to indicate a transaction as reviewed. Click the trash bin icon to delete a transaction. The pencil icon allows you to edit your transactions. You can make changes on the date, amount, merchant, category, status, and type of the transaction. You can also add or delete tags and memos in this section. To change the merchant or category of a transaction, click Change. An empty bar will appear below the previous category name. Enter the new category name in this bar. Following the addition of a new merchant or category, you will be given the following options for how to apply these changes. Only this transaction? This transaction plus all past and future transactions which would have the current category name. This transaction plus all past and future transactions which would have the current merchant and category name combination pair. For this example, I want to apply these changes only to this transaction. Then click Apply Changes. The split transaction icon allows you to separate and identify which transactions are for which, by entering tags for each transaction. For example, you want to separate your transaction based on the items you bought from Walmart to food and clothing. Click the split transaction icon. Enter the amount and the tag for the first and second transaction. Then click Split. Your split transaction will now appear like this. You can manually add a transaction by clicking Add Transaction. On the pop-up window, enter the transaction details such as the date, type, institution, amount, merchant, and category. Click on the drop-down button to select a merchant and category. To add a new merchant and category, click on the plus sign icon and then enter the new merchant and category. When done, click Save to add this transaction. Note: transactions are listed in the transaction summary from the most recent to the most prior dates. Transactions added on a later date will not appear on the first page of the transaction summary. To locate this transaction, go to the next pages or utilize the time period filter and the search bar. And this is it for the transactions section. I hope this video was helpful to you. Please watch the other user guide videos to learn more about Money Patrol.